kurze Pause. Wir kommen gleich wieder zurück zu Diablo 4. Da sagen wir noch was Interessantes?
A minute or so.
Eine Minute. Okay. Ich zeige nochmal den Trailer, den können wir uns noch kurz angucken. Wir machen jetzt eine Minute Pause, wenn der Trailer funktioniert. Hallo? Okay. Ach nee, warte, das ist doch der Diablo 4 Trailer. Ja? Ja. Alter, so geil. Das war auch eine geile Stelle in der Kampagne. Hammer. Ja. So, ich mach mal ein bisschen leiser. Ich liebe ja so Chorgesänge, ne? Die Stelle war wirklich mega. Haben wir auch hier gemeinsam im Stream erlebt. Die Kampagne durchgezockt. Die Kampagne war auch wirklich gut. Die wird fortgesetzt, sobald es eine Erweiterung gibt. Also in den Seasons gibt es zwar auch eine kleine Storyline, aber da wird eher die Mechanik eingeführt, die es da neu gibt. Aber dazu werden wir jetzt gleich sowieso ganz viel mehr erfahren. Also lasst euch nicht von mir voll labern. Diablo Immortal ist jetzt durch. Eine Minute Pause, dann geht's weiter mit Diablo 4. Alles zur Season. Season Pass, Season Start, Season Mechanik, Season Endgame und Q&A. Also auch Fragen aus dem Chat werden beantwortet. Marius. Der Arsch. Cinematics kann Blizzard wirklich, ja. Auch die neue Klasse sah jetzt gut aus für Diablo Immortal. Schon witzig. Okay. Die Alte hat mich so genervt. Ich meine, sie war auch so ein bisschen darauf aufgebaut. Viele schreien nach einem Pala, Kreuzritter oder Kleriker, aber was echt unerwartet wäre, ja, was Unerwartetes würde dich freuen, das wird auch erstmal kommen. Also, ich kann dir versichern, die Diablo 4 Entwickler haben auch gesagt, dass sie es so ähnlich machen wollen wie Diablo Immortal, dass erstmal eine neue Klasse kommt, die es noch nie zuvor gab. Die beste Szene war die mit den 3 Hunden. Die war echt so mies. Wie er da aufgeschlitzt wird. Diablo-Film oder eine Serie wäre schön. Also bei diesen Cinematics dachte ich es mir auch immer bei Overwatch. Die können es halt, ne? Aber... ja, also sowohl eine Diablo als auch eine Overwatch-Serie für unterschiedliche Zielgruppen wären schon ganz geil. Devil Angel, danke für dein Abonnement der Stufe 1. Wenn man sowas sieht, ne? Dann wie das, also ich wäre auch für einen Diablo-Film, dass man sieht, wie ist das alles entstanden. Dann das hier, so eine ähnliche Schlacht. So. Let's hear it. Trailer ist vorbei. Wahrscheinlich sind die Entwickler jetzt am Start. Mache ich auch wieder ein bisschen lauter. Jawohl.
And we're back.
Let's go.
What happened to the awkward hello?
Sure.
You're supposed to go, hello.
That's going to be my intro for everything.
Not back.
Oh, Joseph Papara ist auch am Start. Und Rod Ferguson auch. Okay. Also, alles krasse Leute aus dem Diablo 4 Entwicklerteam.
Tim also has the best voice in the world.
Wow.
So Tim,
Schon bei Warcraft und WoW, ja. Und da haben sie einen Film rausgemacht.
I didn't prepare for that at all.
surprise.
Maybe you should actually introduce people.
Yes,
Or?
I will
So.
introduce people. We are now joined by our wonderful Diablo 4 developers. We have Tim Ismay.
Den kenne ich tatsächlich nicht.
Hello, Tim Ismay. I'm one of the lead producers on Diablo.
Aber
4,
Lead Producer.
specifically focused on seasons. I say that because if you ask me questions outside of the seasons context, I have no idea what's going on.
Er ist mehr oder weniger nur für die Seasons der Kopf.
I'm trying to build more than one.
Krass, okay, die haben einen extra
That's gonna be
Kopf,
That's
Chef
the job
sozusagen für die
security
Seasons.
right there.
I'm actually just asking for it. Yeah.
Wait, we're supposed to be thinking about job security?
And we have.
Leute, ist das für euch zu laut?
Yes.
Oder versteht ihr alles gut?
Associate Game Director for the live service, and I'm excited to talk about Season 1 today, at last.
Yeah.
But first.
But first.
Oh, but first. That's right.
Because Adam has built everything possible to talk about, except the season.
Oh, right. You can never start talking about seasons until we talk about something.
Er will erstmal noch über andere Sachen labern.
Correct.
Ist gut so? Okay, die meisten sagen, es
We
passt so.
know,
Dann lass
obviously,
es mal
It's been a
so.
little over a month since Diablo 4's launched.
It's only
Yeah.
been a month.
Es ist ziemlich genau 1 Monat her.
If you include
No,
like
no,
early
no, but you're
access.
right. It is.
Yeah.
Like, I always, the amount of feedback we get about.
Das ist ziemlich genau ein Monat her, seitdem Diablo 4 rausgekommen ist. Krass.
Like, give us a second.
Exactly.
So,
it has been a month, a little bit more than a month since Diablo 4 has
wait,
actually.
how did you guys get a season done in 4 weeks? That's incredible.
We started it well before the game.
Ja. Die Season 1 war schon fertig, als Diablo rausgekommen ist.
Wait, so you started before the game
I don't
launched?
want to get in the weeds, everybody, but like we did start before the game launched to make sure that we could actually release.
I thought you were just going to say zombies are really.
Ich glaube sogar, Season 2 ist mehr oder weniger jetzt schon fertig.
Okay.
Also
Die
people are
arbeiten
saying
nämlich
that you're
parallel an
right,
2
so,
Seasons immer.
Mr. Joey P.
My mic is
Sobald Season 1 draußen ist, fangen die mit Season 3
fix
schon
that, I
an.
promise. Live broadcast, everyone.
I
Live
can
broadcast.
project everybody.
Yeah.
That's what's going to take.
Also Joseph Papora ist eigentlich der Mann mit dem Wissen. Wenn es um irgendwelche Detailfragen geht, er weiß Bescheid und er ist halt der Chef von allen Diablo 4 Sachen.
I was just shocked by the 5-week thing, but anyway, so yes, it's been very.
Obviously,
Alright.
Since we launched, we've had numerous updates to the game, hotfixes, patches.
bin aktuell vor
We
10
actually
Minuten
had
100
a
geworden.
campfire chat
Glückwunsch.
in between, where we talked about
500 Stunden hast du gezockt, mein
a
Gott.
big update that was coming before season 1.
13-page.
Yes, 13 page. Which people are like, well, that must have been like 14.5, double spaced. And I'm like, maybe it was, but it still was very big. It was like 11 pages and it went on the actual site. But we've addressed a lot of feedback and everything.
Okay, wir reden jetzt erstmal über was vor der Season
we
noch
still
kommt.
have more feedback that we're actually
Es
going to be
gibt
addressing.
neu,
And I
nämlich
will
noch einen
say
Patch, darüber habe ich auch schon ein Video
later
gemacht.
this afternoon, there is going to be another patch.
Wow, heute!
Surprise, spoilers.
Heute noch ein Patch.
Announcement. We will have patch 104. That's going to be hitting all
104,
platforms later
Leute.
this afternoon. There will be
Kommt
patch
jetzt noch
notes,
raus.
posted this afternoon. Very much not as chunky as,
Okay, nicht
as
so groß
103, but
wie
it
der
does
letzte.
address additional feedback and issues that people have been reporting over to
Ja, ein paar
us,
Probleme mit Shop-Items
in
und sowas.
patch notes.
Okay.
Come on, put you on the spot.
Funny enough, did I actually have this printed out?
Ja?
I don't think you can say that 1.04
Junge,
is coming this afternoon and not give an example of something we're fixing.
Okay.
I know that they are actually doing a gameplay fix in regards to, or a gameplay adjustment to Helltide chests, so that Helltide chests will now actually drop unique items.
Yeah, have the chance.
Yo, was? Höllenflutkisten können jetzt Uniques droppen. Digga, was? Das war ja schon längst überflüssig.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
but,
So that's okay. That sounds stupid for me as the GM to go like, I thought they already could drop uniques.
Er dachte, das können die schon. Und er ist der Chef von Diablo
so
4.
There are some content types that the
Geil.
rewards are not dropping like unique items from it. So like like Whisper bounty caches, for example, don't have a chance to drop unique items when you turn in for those.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Der wusste auch
think
nicht.
There's options for us to continue to
Okay.
like, try to expose this more as we talk about these things moving forward. But yeah, this is an opportunity.
Warum
now.
des
We wanna make sure
Geflüsters
that when
konnte
players
das
are
auch
trying
nicht.
to
Also, da
target farm for
gibt's auch
certain
keine
kinds of
Uniques.
uniques for their builds they need to grab in order to bring those things online, that those Whisper caches really can be used as a way to or not Whisper caches, the tortured gifts you can get from the Helltides events. Those are really good opportunities to go and try to go for those.
And that's this afternoon. So once 104 goes out,
Die Frage ist nur, redet er von diesen spezifischen Kisten oder redet er auch von den 175er Kisten?
and I will say, like, we've been getting
Wir können uns gleich den Patch auch noch gemeinsam
many
anschauen.
times already in this stream. We have been getting a lot of feedback related to bugs, issues, or even just like general gameplay feedback. And it's something that the team has been reading through and getting through.
Ja,
And those are things that,
2023 Entwickler be like,
we're
das geht?
addressing as we get through all these different updates in the future and everything.
We're building a big backlog. Like this is the thing. I was making the joke about they started before, like seasons started before we launched, just to try to set expectations. Like we're moving as fast as we can, but we have to move also safely, because if we move too fast, we can kind of vibrate the game out of stability. And so we're trying to be as reactive as we can.
Sie zwar versuchen immer Sachen zu fixen,
we have a large backlog of Season 1
aber es kann nicht alles mit Season 1 schon angesprochen werden, weil die Season 1 mehr oder weniger schon fertig ist. Kleinere Sachen gehen, aber zum Beispiel die Edelsteintasche,
instantaneous response as in we don't hear you. We hear you.
beziehungsweise die Änderung mit Edelsteinen kann halt zum Beispiel erst mit Season 2 kommen. Trotzdem sind viele Leute der Meinung, dass sie ein bisschen zu langsam sind mit den Änderungen.
So just trying to manage expectations that Sometimes it might feel, but again, it's only been 5 weeks. This is a game that we are going to.
Er sagt zwar, es sind nur 5 Wochen, aber in einem Lebenszyklus eines Spiels ist das schon sehr lang. Also viele Singleplayer-Spiele sind nach 5 Wochen mehr oder weniger schon ausgestorben. Aber zum Glück geht es ja bei Diablo 4 kontinuierlich weiter. Also hoffentlich bringt jede Season neuen spannenden Content. Auch für Zauberer? Na, mal gucken. 2 Charaktere, 95
This is something we talked about a little bit on the campfire chat, but we are going to get into a more systematic way of being able to update the game, so it's not just going to be like ad hoc. Hey, guys, what?
Ja, das mit den Edelsteinen hätten sie auch von Anfang an machen können, das stimmt.
But yeah, we
mehr oder weniger nach dem Beta-Feedback schon.
Some familiarity with how we actually update the game around seasons and client patches that may occur, whether they are in between or only on seasons and so forth.
Also zu Seasons werden immer größere Dinge auch gemacht, Quality of Life mäßig. Zwischen den Seasons auch kleinere Patches.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we have
Runenwörter
now
kommen auch
to
noch, glaube
talk
ich.
about things we did in the
Wahrscheinlich noch nicht in
preseason.
der ersten.
We've made a number of changes on the balance side. We've responded to a lot of player feedback. We've got 1.04 coming out later on this afternoon. But Adam, what do the people want to hear about?
So. Also sie haben noch ein Balance-Patch geplant. Aber jetzt kommt Season 1. Bitte.
Do you want to talk about Season 1?
Ja, bitte, danke.
Season 1 is coming, and we have a really cool trailer to show off.
Trailer für Season 1?
Jump into it, so.
Trailer für Season 1, Leute.
It
Let's
is
go.
rich and
Let's go. Hoffentlich kein Lag. Corruption is spreading. Was? Ein Brief?
I am writing to you because although a great evil is receding from Sanctuary, a new festering curse now spreads its corruption across the land. More dangerous, more malignant than I could have imagined.
Werwölfe?
I have found a way to stop this plague. To rip the dark power of these monsters from their very core and turn it to our advantage in destroying them.
Aha.
But I cannot do this alone. My allies have fallen. My strength is dwindling. The malignant are relentless and without mercy. I need help. I need you.
Season of the Malignant? Okay. Schade, dass es kein so richtig cineastischer Trailer war. 20.07. Leute, jetzt haben wir Release-Datum. 20.07.
The first season of Diablo 4
Okay.
coming out on July 20th.
Eine Menge Infos.
The season of the Malignant.
Malignant.
Lots to talk about there.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to jump into it. No, I'm just kidding.
20.07. Sogar noch bevor ich
Obviously,
vermutet
a lot
habe
of
am
people wanna know
21.
What's going on?
Dann geht sogar am
You know,
Donnerstag
we
los,
even
glaube ich.
teased it on social media yesterday, where something was
Wobei,
corrupting
für uns in Deutschland
Sanctuary.
wahrscheinlich am 21.
I guess Tim, Joe, like
Yeah, no, okay,
explain
so
to us what's going on now?
So
Was
season
geht
1,
ab?
the season of the Malignant.
Okay.
So our very, very first season in the game is going to basically take place after the events of Diablo 4. So after the
Nach der
redacted
Hauptstory
and the
geht's
redacted
weiter.
have happened and the player has finished redacting the redacted. Once all that's out of the way, that's
Stimmt,
when
genau in
things
2
are really
Wochen.
going to kick off in the world of Sanctuary, kind of step off from that point. And there's a new threat that's basically emerged in Sanctuary. There's this malignance, there's this corruption that's begun to spread throughout like the hearts of the creatures throughout the world, and that's everything from like beasts to humans, to demons themselves, everything in between can be corrupted by this malignance.
Also
That's going to take root and fester inside inside people. And it's basically kind of like it's changing them. Right, it's turning them into these bloodthirsty fiends. Effectively, they're going out and trying to destroy everything. And it's threatening Sanctuary at a very, very, very high level.
Okay, eine Art Corruption.
Players are going to come across a new character that they're going to introduce to
Neuer
over the course of the
Charakter.
season, named Cormond, who we actually saw in the trailer there.
Okay, der Kollege wird einem so ein bisschen
yeah, there he is.
alles erklären.
Cormond is an ex-member of the Cathedral of Light. He used to be a priest of the Cathedral of Light. And he's taken it upon himself to start trying to dive deeper into this new malignant threat that's risen.
Checkt,
over the course
alle
of
werden
these
korrumpiert.
days following the events
Macht die
of
mal
Diablo
platt,
4's main
wir sammeln
campaign.
die Korruption und machen daraus was
But
Gutes.
he's finding himself maybe a little out of his depth You say, Tim? Like, what do you think about Cormand?
Yeah,
Genau, ich
he's
vermute auch
trying
so.
to fix the problem on his own, and then I think when he's
21.07.,
not
1 Uhr
100%
nachts.
successful, he comes to the player and says, "Hey, you were really helpful in the past. Could I get a hand from you?" So that's kind of where things start.
Yeah, he's very. I think that you'll find like he's a person. Everything in the room is on fire, but he's sitting there like, "I can fix it. You know, we can find a way to solve this, right?" But he's a great
Es wird ein bisschen über den
player
Charakter
introduced over the
gelabert.
course of the season, but that's really just where things kick off. No, and
Aber es ist nur der
players that
Startpunkt.
start the season of Malignant actually in Kyovashad, and they're going to gain access to like the beginning of the story of the season pretty much right away.
In Kyovashad
so you're
geht's
able to
los.
start off right at level 1,
labert mit dem Priester.
jumping out of the gate,
Und ab
and
Level
start,
1 kann man schon
following the
starten.
thread of this new season
Geil.
storyline.
Also man kann die normale
We're
Story
going to talk about
überspringen.
the transition from the current Eternal Realm into the season afterwards. We're going to get through the season information first.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
Well, then when I know people are really curious about
Ja,
what
ja.
happens to my current
Viele wollen
character,
wissen,
how do I
was
think about that
passiert mit
transition,
meinem
but we'll
gerade
get to
mit
that
meinem
after we get
Charakter.
through
Ich
the
will auch noch
season.
Season Pass
Yeah, that's
leveln.
absolutely right. So that's
Aber das kommt danach.
the kind of the high level, like what's happening in the
That's
world
the
sanctuary.
theme, right?
That's
Wir
the
erklären jetzt
So
erstmal
we
gerade
have
das
the
Season,
seasonal
das
theme with the
Thema,
seasonal story.
also Corruption.
Like, what about the mechanic? On top of the theme
ja,
is usually
Mechanic.
the seasonal mechanic. So what's the mechanics
Hau raus.
we're looking at?
We're trying to add more stuff to seasons that appeal to everything that a player does in Diablo 4. So we are adding story, the elements of what you're going to find out about what is
Ja,
actually happening
story.
in Sanctuary. But then we want things that are new challenges for the player, things that you can fight that
Neue
maybe you haven't fought
Challenges.
before, as well as
Klingt
new
gut.
powers, things that you can
Neue
build your
Power.
character in a different way, a different direction than maybe you did in any previous season, or in this case, in the preseason when you had just the Eternal Realm. So hitting all of those notes, we're starting with a mechanic around the threat. So what is the threat? The Malignant. We've been talking about it a lot. Where does the Malignant actually show up? That actually shows up throughout the entire game. When you're playing in the world of Sanctuary, anytime you encounter any elite monster, there's a chance that it will spawn as a malignant version of that monster.
Aha.
That malignant version
Jeder
is
beliebige
going to
Elite
have
kann
these
als
growths on it and some
besondere
additional
Version
power.
auftauchen.
After you kill it, a heart will actually
Und nachdem man es tötet,
exposed malignant heart that was causing this. If you
taucht da so
then
eine Art
interact with that
Tumor auf.
heart by using a cage of binding, it now starts a ritual where it's pulling all the malignants in, and a new,
Oha.
even more powerful version of that elite is
Wenn man das
spawned. Why would you
ernten
want this?
möchte,
How
das
does this help
Herz,
you? Well, if you can manage to
dann startet eine Art
keep
Ritual.
that even more powerful version, where you see these other minions are now helping it, these other malignant creatures.
Da muss man
now
erstmal eine
drops
kleine Welle an
the
Gegnern
caged
besiegen.
heart. You've actually put all of that malignant power into this cage.
Dann bekommt man
that
ein
is an
Caged
item
Heart,
that
also
you
ein eingesperrtes
use
Herz.
That is kind of like a gem.
Es ist wie eine Art Edelstein. Man kann es in Ausrüstung stecken.
An enormous amount of power.
Das ist
Think
sehr
of
krass.
a legendary item, the kind of power that's in there. It's like
Okay, es ist mehr oder weniger ein
even a
legendärer
little bit
Aspekt.
more than that. So you can take these malignant hearts, you can socket them into your jewelry, and that gives you these kind of stupid new broken builds that are totally
Malignant ist
balanced,
bösartig, ja, das kann man gut
but they are
übersetzen.
extremely powerful. So these are new options of how you can play the game.
Yeah,
Das sieht
so
cool aus.
this is really cool, right? So one of the things we really
Also
want
mehr oder
to do
weniger
with these
mit
seasons,
jedem
to Tim's
dieser
point, is we want to make sure that we're
Herzen
providing
kann man
new
eine
ways for players to engage
Art
with Diablo
legendärer
4,
Aspekt
new
erwarten.
problems for them to solve, new ways for them to customize their characters and kind of do new cool stuff.
Right.
And that's what Malignant Hearts and the powers associated with Malignant Hearts really allow us to do. So one of these things, so yes, you can take a Malignant Heart that you've managed to collect from one of the consumed that you managed to kill, when these super Malignant
Ich habe
creatures
gerade noch ein paar
that
Fragen.
you've killed this way,
Mal gucken, ob die
and you can
geklärt
socket
werden.
them into your gear. We have 32 new, I'm not going to say like over 30, we have 32 new Malignant powers.
Aha.
Technically, so yeah, it's
Okay.
So we have 32 new Malignant powers are going out this way. These
Critical
these are
strikes,
new
electrically charged
legendary
enemy,
power-like abilities. You can see this one here.
causing
critical
lightning to
strikes,
arc between them.
Electrically charged
Aha.
creatures for
Also wie ein Edelstein, den ihr reinpackt, und ihr bekommt dafür einen legendären Aspekt. Mehr oder weniger.
That you'd be able to kind of like
In dem
interact with
Fall,
over the course of
dass
time.
ihr Gegner
But each of the
elektrifiziert.
Malignant Hearts you're
Elektrifiziert?
collecting are actually like a category. They're associated with a color. So if like, brutal hearts, for example, or like have a blue color to them.
Und es gibt
And
über
they'll only
30
go
verschiedene.
in festive
Es klingt gar nicht mal so
sockets
viele,
you'll
30.
find on rings and jewelry during the season of the Malignant.
Ja,
of
wenn
a
man
matching
ab Level
color.
1 schon welche bekommen
So when
kann.
you're hunting for like when you're like finding new
Aber die werden wahrscheinlich auch von Level zu Level besser.
at the like the Opal vendor, whatever it is you want to do, you're kind of looking for specific socket colors.
Or if you're getting a unique
Oh,
ring from the new Helltide chest rewards as you're playing from the one.
That's right. If you happen to luck out and get Mother's Embrace because you need another Mother's Embrace, then like, yes, you can absolutely.
One will never do.
Es gibt dann
But
aber
what's interesting, like with the
Sachen,
so there's
die haben
3 different
unterschiedliche
types of color sockets. Yes.
There's 3 different types of colored sockets,
Sockel.
but there's 4 different types of malignant hearts.
Go on.
Well,
Unterschiedliche
I guess I
Farben.
will. So the last malignant heart type
erklär's
is
gleich
called
nochmal.
like basically a wrathful. It's an extremely powerful malignant heart type. They're very, very rare to find. They will fit in any colored socket as you go.
Aha.
And you kind of want a
Man sieht
combination
auch hier
of
schon,
all
ne?
of
Hier
these.
sind so,
Even
hier
though
ist
the
eine, hier war
Wrathfuls
gerade ein
are pretty
lila
strong, you're really only looking
oder
to probably
blauer,
have one or
blauer
two
Sockel,
based on what you might
wie so eine
actually
Art
need to build,
gelber Sockel.
over the course of time. So it's fun, like the
Weißer Sockel.
you want to be able to experiment with again creating
Okay,
these different
aber es sieht so aus, als ob man das nur in die in den Schmuck reinpacken
really
kann.
change up that experience by virtue of adding these new powers. They can unlock different builds potentially for classes. To Tim's
Okay.
point, and just basically be like a really fun, exciting new way
Check mal
for
kurz den
players
Chat
to
ab.
kind of inject new power into the experience.
But you're looking for the.
Nice, finde ich cool, wenn man die dann wieder entfernen kann. Ich glaube, das kann man ja. Und alle brauchen Tunplatz wie die Edelsteine. Oh mein Gott, stimmt.
Are they able to add
Oh my
colored
God.
sockets, or are those
So
only
you can't
found?
choose the color, but anytime a ring would
stimmt,
roll with
ne?
a socket,
Das wird ja
when the
richtig
season
schlimm.
movement starts, it's always going to have a color associated with it. There's not like
Kann man nicht
you couldn't
entfernen,
get like
okay.
just a regular jewel.
Hab ich
socket.
gerade gelesen,
But
alles
even a
klar.
jeweler created one. Like if I have a ring with no socket, when I do the jeweler, it'll be colored.
It'll always be colored. Yeah,
so
it'll
you
always
need
be
to
an
do it,
infested
yeah.
socket in this way.
Got it.
Yeah.
But that's true for unique. So if I'm looking for a unique, I have a unique ring, like you talked about, but I want the blue version. I could find a unique with the red socket, and I could find it with a yellow socket. So I'm looking for a blue. So
Yeah,
there'll
you might be able-
multiple versions of
Aha.
as well, right?
That's correct.
Jedes
Yeah.
Unique, jedes legendäre
So, yeah,
Ding
fun-
kann auch
fun new stuff to look forward to,
unterschiedliche
and that's just, I mean, that's
Sockelfarben
we showed in the
haben.
video earlier, like the player fighting.
Je nachdem,
with
was für einen
the
Sockel ihr
creature,
braucht, müsst ihr halt dann mehr
you know,
farmen.
There's a chance for, as Tim pointed
Wenn
out,
man hier
there's a
richtig
chance
Pech
for all
habt, bekommt ihr
kinds of
immer nur
things
einen
out there in
falschen
the world to be
Sockel.
malignant in nature,
Ja.
which makes them a little bit more powerful. But then when you kill them and you go and you actually use the Cage of Binding to capture their heart, then you fight that super consume the consume version. It's like that's gonna be like buffing nearby monsters. It spawns a bigger like combat in that scene.
Nicht entfernen, aber ersetzen,
more to look
okay.
forward to, and those get
Also wie
tougher
mit
and
den-
tougher.
wie mit den
And you
legendären
wanna
Aspekten.
fight higher and higher level versions of those in higher world tiers to get even better versions of those hearts.
Yeah, so you can get stronger versions of the hearts as you get further into the game, and you might be thinking like, okay, does that mean like the old, like the crappy hearts that I got earlier, are those useless? You can actually break those down at the crafting
Ich
table
dachte
to
mir
get
schon.
a crafting material out of them that allows you to
Immerhin,
craft new
anders als
items.
bei Edelsteinen, kann man die anscheinend
So
zerlegen
invokers are something you
für
can use a little bit further on once you
Material.
finish the campaign of Season 1. You will unlock the ability to go and use these at a specific place called a malignant tunnel. So if you
By
are
the way,
trying to...
that's also the name of my colonoscopy.
Okay.
There we go.
Den habe ich nicht verstanden, weil es wahrscheinlich
It's a
irgendwie...
serious thing when you're over 50.
This is-
You should know
and
that.
Okay, es hat wahrscheinlich irgendwas...
So if you have a malignant tunnel, you should get yourself checked.
Malignant Tunnel, ja, ihr könnt euch
In the
denken.
world of
Das
Sanctuary,
bösartige Loch.
when we say
Oder
malignant tunnel, we mean,
Egal,
hey,
lassen
I'm
wir
a
das Thema.
player and I actually want to get more of these hearts, but it's just a random chance on elites out in the world. Where can I intentionally find more of them? There are these malignant tunnels. So there are actually
Okay, also
places
bösartige
across the world
Tunnel
where the malignance is manifesting in these
in
new
Diablo
dungeons.
4
So if you
sind
specifically want to
krassere
find more malignant hearts,
Dungeons.
you can hunt down these tunnels.
Yep.
You can go in and hey, there are more malignant there. So there's
Und
a
da
higher
sind
chance
noch
of
mehr
finding
bösartige
monsters
Gegner.
there. And
Schade, dass das Gameplay zu laut ist. Man hört fast nichts.
really need a very specific
Das haben sie
type
schlecht
of
abgemischt.
heart. How do I make that even more likely? That's when you take your crafted invoker, you go all
Leckt auch
the
ein
way to the
bisschen.
end of a malignant tunnel, and you can use it.
Haben die leider schlecht abgemischt. Gameplay ist viel zu laut, man versteht ihn gar nicht mehr.
It now spawns that specific type of malignant that's going to have the color associated with it of the heart you're trying to find. You kill that and you're going to get the specific heart. So there's a little bit more
Ja, war jetzt ein
target
bisschen
farming
doof.
you can do as you approach the end
Aber man kann auf jeden Fall
of Season 1.
diese
If
Herzen
you go to
farmen.
the C video, it will be able to show you going into an evoker event where you can go in and sort of.
Ich habe ehrlich gesagt auch nicht gerafft, was das für ein Gameplay war. Da wurde doch gar nichts gezeigt jetzt gerade. Ah,
It does
Jetzt.
kind of, yes. I don't, that wasn't the
leider schon wieder
like,
zu
art
laut, ne?
direction on it, but yeah, that's where we ended up.
So yeah, at the end of these malignant tunnels,
Okay.
you'll find that there are these masses of malignants that you're able to go and
Level
interact
9.
with, and each of the
That's the
tunnels
one we
has
wanna watch.
a few different ones that can potentially spawn different colors of malignant.
Okay, wenn ihr das erledigt habt, könnt ihr da zu so
It gives you
einem
those opportunities to go and like really
eine
target
Überwucherung
farm,
gehen und da
as
könnt ihr euch
Tim
was
pointed out,
aussuchen, was ihr für
certain
eins haben wollt.
kinds of malignant hearts
Ja.
as the player is progressing through the experience.
Okay, wir werden uns danach sowieso alles nochmal
So I want to
durchlesen
show
in
like you
Ruhe.
were just showing it. You went.
Technical
show the one
issues.
you were just showing, because that was
Okay.
the invoker. event.
Technical
So basically,
issues.
there's a growth. You get to the end of the tunnel. You're able to basically, essentially requesting a monster of a particular color. Yes, you're saying like, I want a blue.
Sie haben es pausiert, okay, gut.
A chance to get a blue heart by trying to.
Du musst ja die ganze Zeit den Sound
That's
regeln.
right. And some of these, are, like particularly later on in the experience, like the most powerful hearts you can get are gonna be delivered from things like these invoker encounters.
Ich glaube, die Regie ist gerade ein bisschen überfordert von Diablo.
Basically, they use an invoker on the one of the pods.
That's right. Yeah, the outgrowths from this malignant mass.
Which then creates a blue monster for you to fight. You have to take that down, which will then. So
Machst
does this
da
one
über
go through the
Individual. Ja,
same
muss ich, mach ich
mechanic where
Chrissy,
I have
hau
to
rein.
kill it, try to capture heart to kill
Yeah,
the harder thing?
when this thing pops up, after you kill this one, you don't actually have to capture it.
Auf jeden Fall,
You're fighting
Rado.
the powerful version of it like immediately.
Wir haben auch schon gesagt, sie wollen Low-Lows
Yeah, you don't have to
kriegen.
do the 1-2. Right?
That's right.
So that's nice. So it's kind of a little like the sigil crafting, where you basically,
Also,
I've got a bunch of stuff I'm not using.
das
right
war jetzt ein
now.
bisschen
I can
ungünstig,
craft
das
it
Gameplay war
down
einfach
so
zu
that I
laut, man
can
hat die nicht mehr
focus
verstanden.
What malignant hearts I want, because maybe my build, I know I want a brutal heart, but I haven't running into any blue malignants out there in the world. So now I can go into a malignant tunnel, fight my way to the end, have an opportunity to use the invoker to create a
Also es gibt mehr oder weniger neue Albtraum-Dungeons. Die heißen einfach jetzt bösartige Tunnel. Und am Schluss kann man sich dann aussuchen, was für eins dieser Herzen man haben will, falls man die farmen möchte.
I will
Gezielt
take
farmen.
everything you said, summarize it into 2 sentences. And I know, like, obviously with the story and so forth, there are like new, like.
Das war jetzt echt ein bisschen verwirrend erklärt alles, aber gehen danach nochmal alles durch.
Redacted, but yes.
It's worth calling out, yeah.
It is worth calling.
There's new boss monster for players to fight over the course
Neue
of the season.
Bosse, gut.
There are new legendary items for players to
Neue
collect.
legendäre Items, gut.
There's our legendary powers, I should say, for players to collect. There's new
Neue
unique
legendäre
items for players
Aspekte.
to collect.
Now those
Neue
unique
Uniques.
legendaries and the
Jetzt sag das nochmal, das kommt auch zum
uniques.
Eternal Realm.
Thanks for that. Those are not just in the seasonal realm, though, right? Are those things that are also showing up in the eternal?
That's right. Those will also show up in the Eternal Realm. So yeah,
Exactly.
if you're a player who's like really trying to continue to progress your character in the Eternal
Wenn ihr
Realm,
im ewigen
there are
Reich noch
also
weiterspielt, ihr
new
bekommt
items you can go
trotzdem
try to
jetzt zum
hunt for, and you
Season-Start
just kind of augment and change your build.
neue
This is the moment where
legendäre
I can do the
und Uniques.
producer thing.
okay, yeah,
So
please.
you probably saw before on the screen when we looked at the cinematic, it was awesome. And at the end, we said July 20th. Oh my God, there it is, the day it's coming out. We are actually putting out the patch a little bit earlier. So just for awareness, so everyone knows. You're going to see your game patching on July 18th. That is all of the stuff.
Am 18. schon Patch.
It is going to
dafür.
turn on July 20th.
Balance changes, the new items.
Yeah. So July 18th is actually anything that shows up on the Eternal Realm is there right away. If you just want to continue playing the game.
Cool. Alles
as
fürs
normal,
ewige Reich ist schon am
new
18. am
character,
Start.
or a New Eternal character if you
Balance
want.
Patch,
July
legendäre,
18th,
Uniques.
The new legendaries and uniques that they were just
Kann man auch schon
talking
ein
about
bisschen testen.
will be available to you.
Und 2
on
Tage
the
später
Eternal
startet die
Realm,
Season
as well
dann.
as any other improvements. Balance changes,
Das
rewards
bedeutet,
changes that we've made.
zum
Those will be
Season-Start müsst
right
ihr nichts
away
mehr
on July
runterladen.
18th.
Das könnt ihr schon 2 Tage vorher machen.
The season turns on, you can now create
Cool.
seasonal characters.
Okay.
I think it's like going back to managing expectations. I think one of the things
Ist die
that we're
Season
trying to be really
kostenpflichtig?
clear about with
Nein.
seasons is that
Komplett
it
gratis.
is not a continuation of the main campaign storyline. Like we've been trying to use phrases like
Ist das jetzt eine neue Klasse? Nein.
Working with Corman to solve the malignant is a big, is obviously
Nur eine
the
neue
journey you're
Mechanik.
on, but it's not about the Anarias Lilith journey. It's not extending that
Neues
story. It's sort of a
Endgame-Potenzial.
side story inside the open
Und
world.
die sagen auch
Yeah,
gerade,
this takes place after the events of Diablo 4. But you're absolutely right. This is a new self-contained story.
es ist keine richtige Story-Erweiterung, sondern so eine kleine Questreihe.
To tell an exciting story and to create like these new big features that kind of go along with that and support it.
Ich werde auch nachher nochmal alles übersetzen, ne, falls ihr irgendwo nicht mitkommt.
If there was some way to sort of track my accomplishments through the season, I don't know, maybe some sort of.
Genau, also die Season ist kostenlos.
Yeah,
Wenn man den Season Pass noch spielen möchte, die kosmetischen Sachen haben
I don't
möchte,
know if I
kostet
could
das
tee
genau.
that up
Aber
any
das ist
higher
wieder,
for you. We went from golf
wie der
to
kosmetische
golf
Shop
to
natürlich,
golf.
ne? Kann man
Yeah,
komplett
yeah.
ignorieren.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is obviously with season 1 where we're going to bring out the season journey feature, which I know we've talked a little bit about on stream before, but
Season
I guess
journey.
it's worth maybe calling out and a little bit more clarity.
Hey, look, it's this, but without redacted all over.
Oha!
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is
No top secret.
Yo!
So this is the
Jetzt sieht man auch schon, was man
battle
bekommt für
introducing
Viecher.
as part of season 1, and then going into here you'll see the season journey, and again, so the season journey is
Noch ein
separated
bisschen
into 7 chapters
schöner.
to allow you to progress that chapter.
And you don't have to do all of them?
You don't have to do all of them. You have to do a
Cool.
subset of them.
Also, zum Beispiel, so Malignant Heart bekommen.
So I think it's really cool. So like objective to
Dann
objective.
bekommt man
you're
die
gonna be
Favors Das werde ich auch noch mal alles erklären, in Ruhe.
Your battle pass, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. But you're also for your chapter
Number of herbs, okay.
Moments, you're getting big drops of that favor that's going to be used like an experience point value for your battle pass.
Okay.
But you're also going to be getting some like item rewards and importantly, you're going to be unlocking new legendary aspects.
Hier bekommt man auch legendäre Aspekte drüber.
Like dungeon completion. And also many of our new legendary aspects were
Viele neue legendäre Aspekte bekommt man da drüber.
You can collect that for your Codex of Power by going through the season journey. So it's a great way for you to introduce yourself to some of these new things as you're going through.
Yeah, I love this. Like one of the things that's hard about for people who know Diablo 3 and its sort of journey.
Hold on, wait. Do you love this?
I love this.
Oh, that actually feels really good to hear.
I love this.
Sieht schon ganz gut
The
aus.
notion around like I like the fact
No
that
top
the
secret,
subset aspect of it, because I know there are certain things. I'll pick a stupid example. Like maybe I hate sellers for some reason. I'm a seller hater, and so I never want to complete a seller.
Also man muss nur
the fact that I can advance
7 von 9 Objectives machen, ne? um das Kapitel abzuschließen. Also wenn man irgendwas davon nicht machen möchte, vielleicht irgendwann mal PvP oder sowas auftaucht, kann man es ignorieren.
I have other games where they're like, you must do this thing that you really don't want to do in order to progress, and the fact that I don't have to do that here, that I can choose a subset of things to continue my progress, I think is really smart.
Yeah,
Ist auch besser so, dass man nicht alles machen muss.
One of the things we really want to do is make sure that like the base example of this is like we really like letting players use our.
Dann ist es doch Pay to Win. Nein. Diese ganzen Sachen sind alles im Gratis-Spiel. Im Gratis-Pass.
But we don't want to make that like a requirement that you must go do this.
Das werde ich dann alles nochmal erklären. Keine Sorge.
Option to do this if they choose.
One thing I do want to call out here as well with the season journey, and I think you're going to call it out in some other places, is that it can be confusing to players initially that you go to this Battle Pass screen, you click on the season journey button. Do I have to buy the Battle Pass to get this? No. Everyone has access to the season journey. This is a base feature that everybody
Haben sie es zum Glück nochmal gesagt.
Actually, everybody has access to the Battle Pass too. You're engaging with, even if you never pay a cent, you are engaging with the Battle Pass. You're getting free
Jeder bekommt.
In the seasonal realm. Yes, Rod has always reminded me in the seasonal realm, this stuff exists.
Das ist aber ein Problem, Leute.
You're not in the season. That's very important. It only exists there.
Ja, das ist ein Problem. Wie wäre es, wenn ihr das anspricht?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So yeah, that's the essentially.
Sie haben gerade nochmal bestätigt, dass es den Battle Pass nur in der Season geben wird.
You can get some like special like cosmetics, like special like title and things towards the end.
Es gibt Leute, die haben die Deluxe oder Ultimate Edition gekauft, die wollen nicht die Season spielen. Aber die haben theoretisch Geld für den Battle Pass bezahlt.
So we saw that the season journey grants you a lot of favor to go towards your battle pass, but you also earn favor just out in the world killing stuff. And
that's right. Anything that's like killing monsters, completing like whispers, and all of these things will be earning you favor as you play through the season.
Ich weiß auch nicht, was die beste Lösung dafür ist. Aber hier sieht man halt, dieser Battle Pass, jeder hat die Gratis-Version davon schon. Bedeutet, hier, das bekommt man, dieses Schwert bekommt man, das sieht übrigens total basic aus. Alter, wenn man das kauft, bekommt man gleich mal ein Pferdchen.
While I'm playing the campaign, I'm killing stuff, and I'm still earning favor. Like this stuff is still sort of progressing in the background, right? And
das ist Geste oder was auch immer.
I won't run into any malignant until I finish the campaign.
That's absolutely right. But you will, as you play through, make a new character, to your point, Rod, on the seasonal realm, and you're playing through the campaign, you will be earning favor as you're killing monsters and doing things during the campaign. But a lot of those, and you can also progress your season journey, but some of those objectives might require you to go and interact with season features that aren't available until after you finish the events of the DLC.
Sie haben gerade gesagt, dass man diese ganze Mechanik mit den bösartigen Herzen erst machen kann, wenn man die Story durchgespielt hat.
Getting access to the mechanic, the idea of talking to core men, capturing malignant hearts, having rings with colored socket or jewelry with colored sockets, that stuff all takes place post-campaign. And so if you haven't beat the campaign yet,
wenn man die Hauptkampagne durchgespielt hat, kann man das und darauf zugreifen in der Season. Man kann natürlich die Kampagne skippen, sobald man sie einmal gespielt hat.
So one thing you can do, and I know we're going to talk about this, and we keep saying we're going to talk about this, and then we talk about it anyway. But like, so I would say, like, one of the things you can do to get ready for the season is to make sure you finish your campaign playthrough.
Ja, also unbedingt die Kampagne durchspielen, falls ihr es noch nicht gemacht habt. Vor der Season.
And dive right into the seasonal story and content immediately.
And that's forevermore. That's one thing we tried to say is that once you complete the campaign on one character on your account, for every season moving forward, for any character you create moving forward.
Ihr müsst nur einmal die Kampagne durchspielen, dann gilt das für jede Season, dann könnt ihr es jederzeit überspringen.
Not always, Kyokushan, but yes.
Is that the
Foreshadowing.
only thing that we can be doing to prepare
Well,
for
we should
season
get to
one?
we should get to the battle pass. So the favor, so you have favor flowing because you're playing the game.
You're playing the game because you're doing your season journey objectives. You're getting even
And
more.
I was going to say you're getting more. And the
Braucht
favor is
diese komische
really flowing
Währung,
because
um
I'm
im Battle Pass
completing season
voranzukommen.
journey objectives. And so that favor is feeding into your progress on the battle pass, whether you've chosen to just have the free
Ob man
battle pass
den kauft
whether
oder
you've
nicht,
chosen to
man bekommt
upgrade
da
to
diese
premium
Währung
battle pass.
fürs Killen von Monstern, fürs Level
So can we go
aufsteigen.
back to the screen because I think it's one of the things.
Oh, jetzt hat er keinen Sound mehr. Technische Schwierigkeiten, Leute. Rod Ferguson hat keinen Sound. Okay. Oh je. Der hat Mikrofonprobleme, ich hör's.
One of the reasons you want to complete the battle pass is you could look like this.
Ja, also das sind die Skins, wie es ausschaut. Das sind die Skins, zumindest die ersten. Alter, geil! Zeig mir das Pferdchen. Geil! Das sieht gut aus. Also ist natürlich, kostet natürlich Geld. Ne? Das sollte man jetzt nicht allzu sehr ausrasten. Ja, okay, das Pferdchen an sich. Was sagst du, Jenny? Wie sieht das gut aus? Aber ich finde schon cool. Das bekommt man, dieses Hemd zum Beispiel, bekommt man gratis. Oh, das ist tatsächlich nur für Barbaren? Nee, doch nicht. Alle Klassen. Okay. Ja, also die coolen Sachen sind natürlich im bezahlten Battle Pass. Das war fast schon klar. Sieht schon cool aus, aber ja, wenn man da halt schon mit Level 1 so rumlaufen kann, dann sind die Cosmetics halt auch nicht mehr wert. Das ist auch eine coole Rüstung, eine coole Pferderüstung. Level 90.
Is that one of the big things about the battle pass is that unlike the shop, the battle pass, all the cosmetics are class agnostic. So why we have a preview for all 5 classes, so you can see what it looks like on a barbarian, what it looks like.
Das Pferd ist mit drin, ja. Aber natürlich muss man das Pferd an sich erst freischalten in der Kampagne. Aber es gibt einen Pferdeskin sozusagen, ja. Und
Transmogs. The exception is the transmog weapons. There are transmog weapons on there that are class specific, just because classes can only use specific. So if your class can equip that weapon, then you have access.
Also es gibt Waffenskins im Battle Pass, die sind für klassenspezifisch. Aber die Rüstungen sind für jede Klasse.
To the premium battle pass, what you're gaining access to are a bunch of additional cosmetic things. So the only thing you're getting access to by paying is that additional cosmetic unlock.
Alles, was ihr bekommt, wenn ihr den Battle Pass kauft, sind nur kosmetische Sachen. In der Gratis-Version sind Gameplay-Vorteile. Jeder hat Zugriff darauf.
Well, that's what they're saying with the free side. Like, so we were saying there's 27 free tiers in the battle pass, and part of those 27 free tiers
27 Gratisplätze und 90.
you can get based on the level you are in the game.
Hat so ein paar Mikrofonprobleme leider.
And what do those smoldering ashes get you?
So these smoldering ashes the player will collect the battle pass.
Uff, es ist wirklich kompliziert mit 3 Währungen schon wieder gemacht. Oh Mann. Also keine Sorge, nach dem Stream werden wir das nochmal durchgehen. Ich werde euch das alles in Ruhe erklären. Das wussten wir tatsächlich alles schon, das haben die schon mal erklärt in der Art. Mehr XP, mehr Geld, mehr krasse Materialien, längere Dauer von Elixieren, yes, bitte. Bitte, 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 bitte. Und höhere Chance auf bessere, bösartige Herzen. Okay.
I can do it 4 times at 15%, so like 60% duration on elixirs, you know, in terms of that particular.
15% mehr.
Yeah, we want to make this
Oha.
an extra little fun little thing for players to
Das
chase
ist cool.
going through the season to kind of, you know, help them like boost their characters a little bit more quickly as they kind of get deeper and deeper into progression.
Wenn ihr im Gratis-Track vom Battle Pass aufsteigt, bekommt ihr diese Aschen und die investiert ihr dann in verschiedene Boni.
Earn a prolonging is where I want to invest my smoldering ashes. I can basically take my 30-minute elixir and make it almost a 50-minute elixir.
Ja, Mann. 30 Minuten Elixiere werden bald 50 Minuten Elixiere. Danke sehr. Meine Güte, war das überfällig.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, and give you boosts to like get more opportunities to earn.
Also das werde ich hundertprozentig machen. Ich vergesse dauernd Elixiere reinzuschmeißen.
And these are available to everyone.
Wobei, nee, macht eigentlich gar keinen Sinn, weil hier mehr XP zu bekommen, lohnt sich ja direkt. Das lohnt sich ja eigentlich dauerhaft.
Also limited based on level of players, so that even if someone were to use tier skips, even though they might get to the tier that says free
you unlock
smoldering
an ash,
ashes,
it might require...
it doesn't actually unlock until you get to the level requirement.
Yeah, but like for example, like the first ash that you unlock in the battle pass is, I think it's tier 8, maybe.
Tier 8,
yeah. And it has a level 40 character requirement, as an example. Just to make it really, really clear, like you will be able to use this in time, but immediately, like you need to continue to progress your character and like, continue to level up, and then you'll be able to use that.
Das werde ich euch nach dem Stream nochmal erklären, was Sie da gerade gesagt haben. Das ist ein bisschen kompliziert.
I kind of do my little summary thing.
Sie haben eigentlich nur gesagt, es gibt kein Pay-to-Win. Obwohl man Stufen überspringen kann vom Battle Pass.
Which has the mechanic of capturing malignant hearts and putting it into jewelry. We use that to complete our season's journey. Our season's journey is rewarding us favor. Our favor, we're then putting into the battle pass to get really cool cosmetics and transmogs, but also based on our level and our tier in the battle pass, we'll get smoldering ashes. We can use the smoldering ashes to apply a season's blessing, which allows us to use those urns and get sort of perks for during just this season that we've unlocked.
That's correct.
Also er hat im Prinzip jetzt die Season ganz kurz erklärt.
You are still getting a lot
was der Gameplay-Loop sein wird.
The free aspect, the free unlocks on the Battle Pass. So this is kind of
Gibt es dann nochmal ein Video von dir darüber? Ja, natürlich, hundertprozentig. Wir werden jetzt gleich nach dem Livestream nochmal alles in Ruhe durchgehen.
They're amazing cosmetics.
Auf Stufe 40 stand da leider,
ja. But there's no power that comes from them. They are transmogs. They are not actual items. It's just a transmog you can place on your armor to look cool.
Genau. Also die ganzen Rüstungen und Waffen und sowas sind keine echten Waffen, sondern sind einfach nur Skins.
Before launch and so forth, is that the battle pass itself, anything that if you do pay for a battle pass, all the pay
sind die auf immer so lange auf seiner Kameraperspektive.
It's no pay for power.
And if you bought the deluxe or the ultimate edition, you already will have a ability to make that.
Und das ist genau das Problem, Rod. Leute, die Deluxe oder Ultimate Version gekauft haben, haben den Battle Pass schon, wollen aber vielleicht die Season gar nicht spielen.
The transitional side of it.
Yeah.
In terms of
so, komm, jetzt erzähl mal ein bisschen über das ewige Reich.
What happens. So there's a couple of different things. There's one is like there's a need. So there's a question. I guess we should talk about.
Mein Problem ist nicht das Neuanfang, sondern dass es keine Reinkarnation gibt.
Auch,
ja, auf jeden Fall. Wäre auch schon ganz cool. Wie lange soll das Stream gehen? Bis eigentlich gar nicht mehr so lange.
Do I have to go find all the altars of Lilith? Do I have to go all clear the fog of war again?
Yeah, so I know we've talked about this in stream before, but definitely bears repeating. So like when Season 1 goes
live, Reinkarnation soll jetzt noch nicht zur Season 1 kommen, leider.
Carry over like all of the fog of war that they've cleared, so everything, all the world they've explored on their characters in each of the zones, like in the Fractured Peaks.
Also sie haben es gar nicht angesprochen, das Feature. Das ist so ein Feature, das kommt halt vielleicht wahrscheinlich in Season 3 oder so erst. Also, jetzt erklären Sie nochmal, was zur Season passieren wird.
We'll say this is this person. So right now they've got 30 areas discovered, which is worth 150 renown.
Also, die haben 12 Altäre von Lilith und 30 Areas discovered.
Inside of Kyrgyzstan. And I will have 150 renown already in the bank. And it will have unlocked whatever 150 renown will have unlocked.
Absolutely right. Yep, absolutely right.
Wenn man die Season startet, hat man das und das. Das wird übernommen. Alles andere wird zurückgesetzt.
So the same thing here. So I will have 12 will be appearing on my map immediately. And I will have
12 Altäre von Lilith
und in the bank.
Die Karte, soweit ihr sie aufgedeckt habt,
270 renown
bleibt euch erhalten in der Season.
When I fire up the season.
Und für alle erstellten Charaktere dann.
So these are the advantages you get to start with, and like if you look at like all of the renown you can collect from discovering all of the areas and from getting all of your altars of Lilith, it's going to get you in each of the zones basically.
Die Leute, die Deluxe oder Ulti gekauft haben, wussten beim Kauf, dass sie die Season mitkaufen. Nee, ganz viele wussten das eben nicht. Ganz viele wussten gar nicht, wie die Seasons funktionieren. Es gibt so viele Spieler, die hatten keine Ahnung, wie Seasons funktionieren. Ich wusste nicht, dass man da neu anfangen muss. Du darfst nicht vergessen, Diablo 4 hat super viel vom Mainstream abgegriffen. Die vielleicht eine... nee, es wurde nicht klar kommuniziert.
And your map reveal.
Das stand nicht auf der Box.
Goes back to what Tim was teeing up earlier. When we think about, hey, I'm excited about the season, I want to prepare for it, I've got, what is it, this is the 6th today?
Today's the 6th, yes.
So I have 14 days.
14
days. Können wir gleich nochmal drauf eingehen.
What should I be doing in these next 2 weeks? And so one was, I better get the campaign done because I really
wieso nur 12 Altäre, weil der Typ nur 12 Altäre da freigeschaltet hat in dem Beispiel jetzt.
Like dig deep on clearing the fog and dig deep on finding the altars because those are going to carry into the season.
Yeah, all that stuff will carry over with you.
Okay, so then Tim,
Nein, hast du falsch verstanden damit. Dieses 12-Ding war nur ein Beispiel von diesem Bild. Dieses Bild hat ein Beispiel, dass derjenige 12 Altäre von Lilith entdeckt hat und diese 12 würden rübergebracht. Aber so viele, wie du entdeckt hast, alle werden rübergebracht. Das war nur ein Beispiel mit den 12.
Yeah, Tim, tell us.
Yeah, it's a great question. For various technical implementation reasons, we do actually need you to log in on existing characters to kind of self-migrate some of your data with this. So this is something that we implemented based on player feedback that we got. So we put it in as quickly as we could. It is in for Season 1, but what we need you to do, once Season 1 comes out, actually once the patch comes out, you don't even have to wait until July 20th. You can do this on July 18th, which is when the patch goes live. You should log in with characters that have the most progress. If you have a character you played, or if you have one character that, hey, on this one character I unlocked all the altars and cleared all the fog of war, awesome. You just have to log
das wird für
in with that
Verwirrung
person.
sorgen.
When you log in with that character, all of that progress is going to be propagated across your entire account. It'll be saved as, hey, this is just unlocked for your whole account now.
Oh Mann, das wird für Verwirrung sorgen.
Either one of your existing alts or any new character you make in seasons will now have all of that progress. So you have to do it once, but after you've done that, it is now saved to your account. And just to reinforce, the experience you're going to have if you have unlocked all of these things, it takes a little bit of work, but if you've unlocked all of that, when you start that new seasonal character,
dass sobald der Patch kommt, am 18. soll man sich auf seinem bestehenden Account einloggen mit seinem bestehenden Charakter, damit auch alles übertragen werden kann.
And because that is a big caveat, like we will be reminding everyone. I'm going to be like literally screaming from the rooftops. I know we will be posting it in our patch notes on that come out for the patch on the 18th, just to remind people that yes, log into your characters.
Weil wenn ihr es nicht macht und die Season startet, dann funktioniert es nicht mit dem Übertragen.
Later on, you can log into those characters with the most amount of progress.
Wenn ihr euch nicht in den Charakter einloggt, der den meisten Fortschritt hat, kann es sein, dass von dem anderen Charakter aus der Fortschritt übertragen wird. Oh mein Gott. Ich habe gedacht, dass sie sozusagen alle Charaktere scannen, wer den meisten Progress, und das wird übernommen. Aber nein, man muss es manuell. Jeder muss es von uns manuell machen.
Anytime you ever log in on a character, it will just check like, hey, does this character have any progress
okay,
not
das ist
already
wichtig.
credited on your account? Cool, I'm now crediting it to your account.
Right.
Okay. Immerhin.
And that's for the seasonal. So
dann kann man nichts falsch machen.
Realm, like for example, my Necromancer has everything. I've got the full bar on renown on all 5. Not humble bragging. That's a point of fact.
Humble bragging.
Not humble bragging.
Absolutely.
So for the next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about
this. So
let's
talk about how good my Necromancer is. No, but all I'm saying is I have a Sork that has not had the same level of progress in the world. So after the 18th,
okay, jetzt erklär das nochmal ganz genau.
My Necro, and all that progress gets put to my account. When I go to log in my Sork next, even on the Eternal Realm, my Sork will now have all the progress that my Necro
Correct.
has.
Absolutely.
Exactly
das ist cool.
And let's say like,
das ist wichtig.
Just dive really deep into this. So let's say that you've got two different characters.
Should do some sort of depth.
Pass auf, Joseph Papora macht noch ein besseres Beispiel.
So let's say you've got like 2 characters you play. Like one has done everything in the
Joseph Papora wird jetzt das wichtige Beispiel sagen, auf das ich noch kurz warte.
You get another character who's gotten everything in Scott's Glen, who's unlocked like all the fog of war, has found all the altars Lilith. If I log in on my Fractured Peaks character, and just by doing that, all of that credit will now be transferred to my Scott's Glen character. When I log into my Scott's Glen character, all of that credit will be applied to my Fractured Peaks characters. At that point, all of the credit of the progress I made on either of those characters
that's
is
cool.
propagated to the entirety of my account.
Okay.
So it becomes an and.
It's not just like, it's and.
Das
it's not like the one account that has the most stuff and then I want to log into that one. No, you want to log into every account that might have like tons of progress if they've made.
Für jeden Account, in den ihr euch einloggt, bekommt ihr Guthaben sozusagen. Wenn ihr einen Charakter habt, wo ihr alles bei Fractured Peaks aufgedeckt habt und einen Charakter, wo ihr alles in Scott's Glen aufgedeckt habt, loggt ihr euch in beide ein und habt dann auf allen Charakteren alles, also beide Regionen. Das ist komisch gemacht, aber okay. Dass man das manuell machen muss. Ja, okay.
When launching the game or prior to launching the game, the original plan was that there was no transition of state.
Eigentlich sollten sie einen Scan machen von allen Charakteren und alles automatisch zusammenrechnen, aber das geht anscheinend nicht.
Feedback as we talked about seasons and hearing the response that we got about what I have to find all the altars again, what I have to find clear the map again.
Pili, danke für den Raid.
To make sure that
Oha.
we were listening to
Hallöchen Leute, wir sind mittendrin im Diablo Livestream.
A system that allowed us to do that, but is not
Reaction Stream auf die Entwickler.
smoothest, most sophisticated because we were doing it under very tight kind of constraints as quickly as possible.
Hey, did you want it done? Did you want it done?
It's
The answer is
I'm
yes.
just saying, like that wasn't the design from the start was not to do this, log in a character on the 18th and make it pass. That's what we had to do to make it happen for Season 1.
Okay, also das war ja nicht deren Plan, dass sie das so machen, aber jetzt müssen sie es irgendwie so hindeichseln. Und das ist die einzige technische Möglichkeit, die sie hatten. Alright. Ist aber egal, wann ich mich einlogge. Muss nur passieren, bevor die Season startet, oder? Das habe ich auch nicht so ganz verstanden. Danke für den Shoutout, Jenny. Genau, ihr könnt gerne mal Peli hier ein Follow da lassen. Das ist ein cooler Dude, der auch sehr viele gute Games streamt und zockt. Zum Beispiel Final Fantasy war jetzt letzten Tage mal dran. Und der ist auch vom PlayStation Stream Team. So wie ich. Also lasst gerne ein bisschen Supporter.
Yeah, we make it work, but sometimes the fact that you have to log in to get the progress propagated, we would have made it a smoother version if we knew months ago.
All right.
Ja, okay. Man muss nur irgendwann, glaube ich, sich einloggen für den Progress.
There it is. Okay, yeah, all right. It's a live game. We know we need to it's a live game. We know we are looking at trying to make improvements based on the feedback that we're getting from players. We're playing the game ourselves, and we're kind of seeing how everything is really feeling as it's all coming together with a giant audience of players playing and enjoying the game. We want to make sure that we are making the right changes as quickly as we can.
Danke, Wiener, für
things are a
deine
lot harder than others. Like all the feedback, like Adam, you called out some things really early on at the program, like we're hearing feedback about
Also sie entschuldigen sich im Prinzip jetzt gerade nochmal dafür, dass es halt so umständlich ist. Genau, Patch runterladen und damit in Main einloggen, ganz einfach, egal wann. Okay, so ist es. Aber wenn man unterschiedlichen Progress hat bei unterschiedlichen Charakteren, dann mit allen einloggen. Natürlich wollen sie die beste Version machen. Klar.
We're players too. We also want the same things. So just know that we're working hard. We care deeply. We love our engineers and our designers and our producers and the staff's been helping with the hotfix and everything else.
Muss ich das am 18.07. machen oder geht das auch eine Woche später? Das habe ich eben auch nicht verstanden, Teddy. Das haben sie nicht so klar gesagt.
So just stick with us. Keep giving us that feedback. We're going to keep making adjustments as we go between seasons and other.
Geht auch später, sagt Mr. Mark. Okay. Ich habe so nicht rausgehört, hundertprozentig. Aber ich vertraue euch da. Muss eigentlich, sonst wäre es eine absolute Katastrophe.
First version is always, can we do this immediately? That is always the first request. Never like, hey, let's get this in eventually when it makes sense and when it's.
Das geht sicher auch noch eine Woche später, ich denke auch.
Right now.
Aber wenn du die Season anfängst, bevor du das machst, geht es bestimmt nicht mehr. Doch, es geht auch nachträglich noch, aber dann hast du halt erstmal auf deinem Charakter keinen Fortschritt, dann loggst du dich nochmal in den alten Charakter ein und dann bekommst du den Fortschritt auch nachträglich, glaube ich noch. Habe ich es jetzt verstanden? Es wird bestimmt ein bisschen seltsam ausschauen, wie das dann wirklich funktioniert in Praxis. Ich glaube, es wird erstmal viele Leute verwirren. Wenn eine Season startet und dann denken sie sich so, hä, ich dachte, mein Progress wird übernommen. Aber nein, du musst dich wahrscheinlich erst in den alten Charakter einloggen und dann nochmal in den neuen. Und dann sollte es funktionieren? I don't know. Also sie sagen jetzt im Prinzip nochmal, oh, das ist total schwierig, das alles direkt so auf die Kette zu bekommen. Also.
Waiting to reveal this for a long time.
In 2 weeks, and again, like Tim had mentioned.
It's not technically here for you all, but soon, very soon.
As Tim
Wir werden gleich nochmal alles durchgehen.
We will have a patch on the 18th.
Wir werden gleich nochmal alles durchgehen. Peko, das kann ich jetzt leider nicht machen. Die Leute würden mich linsen. Das können wir später machen im Spiel, okay?
She categorized our 103 patch as chonky. I will categorize in Tiffany Watt's words as super chonky for season 1. It actually is our largest, or chonkster, as Tim called it.
Okay, wir haben einen übelsten dicken Patch zum Season-Start auch noch.
The history of chonkers,
das geht doch länger als ich dachte, es kommt ja auch noch Q&A-Sektion, ne? Kommt noch einiges. Versuch was wert. Nicht während diesem Livestream. War das jetzt alles? Nee, ich glaube nicht. Kommt bestimmt eine Infobox beim Ingame erstellen, ich hoffe.
And then again, we also have just more improvements that will be in that patch. What our balance changes to bug fixes, to you name it. I can go
You
on.
name it, wow.
There's even some reward changes coming for some Nightmare and Helltide related activities as well. Some
und
in-game
Albtraum-Dungeons
activities, 'cause
bekommen
we've been
bessere
hearing
Belohnung?
Some feedback regarding.
Ach, das weiß ich
like,
sogar,
hey,
was da
it'd be
gemeint
great if
ist.
we can get like maybe better rewards with some of these activities,
Ja.
and so I know some of those changes are
Besseren
coming
Loot.
in that actual update as well.
Besseren Loot.
I know we want to do Q&A.
We do?
Q&A, bitte sehr.
And this is a live stream, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Das ist
I know
ein
we get sometimes
Livestream.
people are like,
Wow.
"Oh, this is live." No, this is totally live.
Ja, das habe ich gemerkt an den Technikproblemen, Leute, dass das live ist. Wollen bei euch auch die Server-Lags so, Server so laggy? Ich bin gerade nicht im Spiel.
Rod is actually
I'm
just
actually going to go in a
Denkst du, sie bringen
noise
Stufe 5 raus? Das hätten sie, glaube ich, jetzt angekündigt. Also wahrscheinlich nicht.
We're actually going to bring back in Chris and Ryan from the Immortal team, who
Oh.
will be jumping in
Oh, I
here.
think you're supposed to open that chair. I didn't do my
Yeah.
job.
Rod
I didn't do my job.
Rod had one job and failed to do it.
I failed to open the chair.
So we're going to bring these guys in. I know we have questions queued up from
Also es gibt
different
auch ein
people,
paar Diablo
in
Immortal
Twitch chat.
Fragen,
So
wie
if
es
you guys have
ausschaut.
questions, of course,
Wer
feel
spielt
free
denn
to
Immortal? Ja,
drop
anscheinend
in
spielen das noch
questions.
Leute.
Not quite in. You need
Also ich werde gleich nochmal alles
I need
durchgehen,
to
wie
switch
gesagt.
too, because
Die muss ich jetzt ein bisschen quetschen, okay?
Live television.
So, Rothol Cookies, ich glaube
And
auch.
we're scooching, live scooching.
Also.
So here's the problem. We also the
all
production
kinds of
team hates me.
cables beneath us.
I want to give a shout out to our production group behind here, because I literally go like, oh, we're only going to have like 2 people, and then we continue to add people, and then Rod wanted to be in it yesterday.
Ja, Rod ist auch noch spontan gekommen,
We're
ne?
up to like 20 people, and this room can't hold this many people, so I apologize.
here we
They
are.
are
Okay,
angels,
anstatt die
and
Camp
they deal
zurückzusetzen,
with
ich denke es mir auch, aber vielleicht ist die
But,
super krass
we do have some
ausgerichtet und man kann es nicht mehr machen.
questions,
I don't
and I
know.
will be kind of going back
Auf jeden
and
Fall,
forth.
wir gehen gleich alles nochmal
We do-
entspannt
perfect.
durch.
We do have some questions up here.
Ich warte
Someone's
nur
also
darauf,
calling, just
dass der einmal durchgegangen ist, der Stream, und dann erkläre ich euch alles in Ruhe. Aber jetzt noch ein paar.
Any updates around, this is for D4 specifically, any
Oh,
updates
respecking.
around respecking characters?
Yeah,
Nein.
so
Doch.
right now there
Moment.
are. I think that there's a few different concerns we're hearing from the community.
Ja.
There's the general
Loadouts.
cost of
Wir
respecting
wollen Loadouts.
characters, and then there is at various stages of the game, and then there is the actual experience of respecting a character, particularly when you're deeper into the Paragon system.
Ja,
Like, that's just
Paragon,
a lot
Brett,
of effort.
einzeln zurücksetzen, ist Katastrophe.
We have longer-term plans on the user experience side, like on the menu side. Things we want to do to improve the flow of allowing players to respect their characters. These are things we're actively investigating. We have designs for things we're looking to add into seasons in the future, but we don't have a date that we're committing to today for that.
Aha, das ist
in
super
terms of
vage.
the actual price of that, we're evaluating things on like the gold economy, and we're taking a look at like what players are doing on a regular basis. We're not making any fundamental structural changes to today at this time, but we are, because we're satisfied with where things feel like in the 150.
Die sind wirklich sehr sympathisch, die Entwickler,
One
das
thing
stimmt.
we'll be adding though is as part of seasons, there is now a new reward that you can collect as you're going through the season journey at the end of each season, called the Scroll of Amnesia. Which, and once you collect a Scroll of Amnesia, you can use that one time to basically reset the entirety of a character all in one go for no gold cost at all.
Wow.
So these are gonna be like pretty fun things to bring back with you to determine.
Also in der nächsten Season bekommen wir eine Schriftrolle der Amnesie und damit können wir unseren Charakter komplett zurücksetzen auf 0. Alles. Paragon, XP,
And that scroll of amnesia
Alles.
is everything. It's all your skills,
It's all
all
your
your
skills,
Paragon,
alles.
everything goes to 0.
Yeah.
alles geht auf 0.
Awesome.
Wir können alles nochmal neu
For,
verteilen.
Immortal, we have a question from, I'm reading everyone's name.
Oder,
8
ja,
Miles
I think-
West. How much will
Hoffe
the
ich doch.
Blood Knight cost? I know we covered this early on, but if you guys want to reiterate,
The Blood Knight will cost nothing. The Blood Knight is free.
it's free. So
Es
if
gibt
you're
was
a
in
new
Diablo Immortal,
Immortal
das
player,
kostenlos
or
ist.
you're
Wow!
a existing Immortal player, you can literally jump in, start
Ever
playing,
forever, danke für den Raid.
Blood Knight on day 1, which is on July 13th. So, and of course,
Okay.
you can play through the campaign, and we had mentioned
Also,
has essentially
der
custom
Recht,
video and everything
der
associated
Rechte schaut mega müde aus. Das ist der Community Manager, der ist halt ständig am Fragen beantworten. Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass der müde ist.
That's usually that's
That's
a
usually- that's-
safe statement all the time. Is
We
you should be more
we have
prepared.
Rod judging me off
Mal
screen
zurück, habt ihr 4 doch
just
lieb.
like, oh,
Man kann respecken, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe. Ja, also, sie überlegen sich mehrere Sachen. Einmal überlegen die sich, die Kosten zu reduzieren. Einmal überlegen die sich, sowas wie Paragon-Brett komplett zurückzusetzen oder Loadouts zu machen. Aber das ist Seasons entfernt, hat er gesagt. Also noch sehr weit weg. Leider. Aber, wie gesagt, zum Season-Start wird es eine Schriftrolle der Amnesie geben. Zum kompletten Zurücksetzen.
Wie
oft sie gibt, keine Ahnung.
Jetzt
Jetzt pass auf, das ist wichtig. Diese Frage ist super wichtig. Bekommen wir die Sachen von der Season danach auch im ewigen Reich?
Initially, No, like initially,
Erstmal
the version
nein.
of the mechanics that you're seeing are not planned to show up in the Eternal
Erstmal
Realm.
nein.
However,
Aber
we are reserving the right as developers that if we see something cool and we think, wow, this is just fantastic, this should just be part of the game, that we will just make it part of the game. So it is absolutely an option. Some mechanics you might see in future seasons
vermutlich nur einmal,
might be
kann
that
sein, ja.
way right away. We might be planning that, hey, this will show up in Eternal Realm right away. Others will evaluate them as we play them and then see.
Okay, das ist natürlich so ein bisschen eine Nicht-Antwort, aber um es kurz zusammenzufassen.
That's not to suggest that we're not going to be, as part of the seasons, intentionally using those update opportunities to create content for the base game.
Manchmal soll zu einer Season die neue Mechanik auch direkt im ewigen Reich kommen. Manchmal kommt die danach, aber es ist momentan nicht geplant, nichts Konkretes.
We can't add something exciting like that every season if it's expected to all last, because the game's going to be a complete mess.
Right.
So we're not.
Ehrlich gesagt, ist das eine scheiß Einstellung, was er da gerade gesagt hat.
Is all of those things would be extremely incremental in terms of what they offered to the players over the course of time. And it would make the game extraordinarily dense in terms of.
Ist doch egal, jeder hat Bock auf mehr Komplexität. Oh Mann, er sagt gerade, es ist unmöglich, nach jeder Season die Mechanics auch ins ewige Reich zu übertragen, weil das irgendwann mal zu komplex werden würde. Jede Mechanik überzutragen. In der Meinung, nein, Mann. Ist doch geil, wenn es mehr Möglichkeiten gibt. Aber gut, wenn alles miteinander multipliziert, hat man irgendwann wirklich das Diablo 3 Problem. Frag mal, wie der Season-Charakter ins ewige Reich kommt. Das ist relativ klar. Aber da gibt es auch noch ein paar Detailfragen. Ich wurde es noch gefragt, aber ich kann das nicht fragen. Also, wir gucken dazu, 100.000. Das wird bestimmt noch gefragt. Ja, leider ist D4 Casual Game. Komplex ist da anscheinend nicht gewollt. Ja, die Leute sagen halt, dafür ist das Endgame zu schwach jetzt. Ich weiß, dass es Casual ist, das stimmt schon. Aber Destiny 2 ist auch Casual und bekommt auch dauernd neue Mechanics rein.
So that excitement goes away if we just say like, oh, all of these powers just exist in the game forever. The whole idea is that no, every season is a
ja, die wollen halt die Season super krass machen, dass die Sachen nur kurz da sind und danach wieder weg sind. I don't know.
So, Joe, I mean, one of the things.
It's Rod off camera speaking.
Rod off camera. Hey, voice guy. Joe.
Yes.
Was will denn Rod Ferguson wieder?
Everybody starts at the same place of the season is one of the benefits, so that people aren't like a year behind when they go to play season 4.
Yeah,
that's an important part of this as well. One of the reasons we really like the idea of letting players start back fresh and have.
Die mögen Seasons, dass alles wieder von Null startet und nicht so wie bei Destiny zum Beispiel, wenn man ein Jahr verpasst, dass man dann super viel nachholen kann. Aber ich find's geil, dass man super viel nachholen kann.
You're getting exposed to the new features and
Aber
content available that we're introducing.
Unterschiedliche Philosophien.
That everything feels like it's balanced in such a way that players can really enjoy the new things that we're adding, in the way that they're kind of intelligently mixed with the rest of the features in the game itself. So that we think of that experience.
War ihm bei WoW auch egal, wie komplex das wurde. Genau das denke ich mir halt, ne? Eigentlich ist doch Diablo 4 auch nichts anderes als ein kleines MMO. Wenn es komplex wird, kann ja PoE spielen, das stimmt. Ja, es ist so wie bei Fortnite mit den Seasons, das stimmt. Alles wird auf Null gesetzt halt, ne? Ich finde auch das Season-System an sich cool. Aber das ewige Reich, aus dem könnte man halt mehr machen. Das wird halt ignoriert. Das stimmt auch wieder, Prinz Bratan. Also Monetarisierung und Währung und so weiter ist Katastrophe bei Destiny 2. Das ist wirklich ein bisschen zu komplex. Da
we want, again, the game is a live service, the game's going to live for years. We want somebody who buys the game a year from now to not feel like they're a year behind when it comes to. So one of the benefits of seasons is.
Also er findet es geil, wenn jemand in einem Jahr das Spiel erst kauft, dass er mit einer Season bei Null starten kann und alle starten bei Null. Und dass er nicht ein Jahr lang aufholen muss. Ich bin der Meinung, es gibt kein Muss. Es gibt nur, du darfst.
Yeah, that's actually, I could have put it better myself. That serves as a really, really good opportunity for us to make sure that players have a starting point together.
Aber wisst ihr was? Was die perfekte Lösung wäre? Wenn es bei der Season immer von Null losgeht, aber das ewige Reich bekommt die ganze Zeit die Mechanics dazu. Im ewigen Reich kannst du halt unfassbar komplex spielen mit allen Mechaniken, die es jemals gab, und zu der Season kannst du mal von neu starten. Ist doch schön. Hat jeder seinen Gewinn, oder nicht? Sie ignorieren halt das ewige Reich. Das ist mein Problem. Das ewige Reich bekommt nichts dazu. Naja.
Okay, I'm out.
Sorry.
I'll be honest, when the next WoW expansion comes out, there's a non-zero chance that I'm going to play WoW for a while. But it's great to know there's a point that I can come back to Diablo 4 and everybody's on
Sie haben es gerade mit WoW verglichen sogar. Dass
Question
es
here
da
from
eben
Jeffrey
genauso
Allen, and
funktioniert.
didn't specify this D4 or DI, so I'm actually going to ask both because I think this is relevant to both. Also,
Tja,
Why do you have a new
hast du
mic?
schon recht, als sollten halt auch was für Leute machen, die die 4 als Main-Game zocken.
Two mics, guys. I'm
Wir sollen
very.
das Endgame verbessern. Auf jeden Fall, ja.
You have me in
Das ist besser,
stereo.
deswegen ist Diablo 3 auf aufgehört. Wir können
Can you
Überblick mehr
say which
Ja, gut.
cosmetics will be transferring between characters? So for instance, like
Stimmt,
for
Aventur, dass es die neuen
Diablo
Items auch im ewigen Reich
Immortal,
gibt. Aber ansonsten die Mechanics halt
specifically
nicht.
Diablo Immortal, and then we'll talk about
Naja,
Diablo 4.
reden wir gleich nochmal drüber.
In regards
Nächste Frage
to
ist,
transferring
welche kosmetischen
cosmetics,
Sachen
like
übertragen
if
werden.
you ended up buying a cosmetic in Diablo Immortal, does that actually also appear in the Blood Knight?
So cosmetics purchased prior to the Blood Knight's release will not be retroactive. However, the sorry, what was the Mother's Lament set?
Hatred's Heritage.
Hatred's Heritage will be.
Okay, erstmal Diablo Immortal, das ist eh egal.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So,
Wenn das nutzt, um
going forward,
Skins,
there
die
will
man
be now new
in einer
cosmetics
bestimmten
available
Season
for the Blood
freispielen
Knight, just
konnte,
as they are
später
for all
vielleicht
the
Geld
other
anzubieten.
classes
Ja,
in Immortal.
ich wette das,
And
muss
then I
sein.
guess for D4, will cosmetics be transferring?
Dann stimmt,
to
irgendwann platzt das Game aus
seasons,
allen
and,
Gigabyte
will they need to be
Nähten. Da ist natürlich auch was
reobtained? I know
dran,
this was
aber
like a question that we get a lot from people in regards to transmogs, and if you salvage specific stuff, how does that work between characters from Eternal and Seasonal realms?
Yeah, I believe that's all transferring over with you when you go into the new season. And obviously every cosmetic set that you're purchasing.
Wobei man sagen muss, WoW hat mich abgeschreckt, weil es so komplex war. Ich weiß, das ist halt das Negativbeispiel. Das ist das Negativbeispiel.
Has access to it forever is the current functionality.
Nice.
I shouldn't say it that way. It sounds like we're going to change it.
Yeah,
That
don't
is
use
the
the word forever,
functionality.
ever.
Let's see.
Also alles Kosmetische wird immer
this
übertragen, auch in die
from,
Seasons.
Kincho Kimo.
Oder von den Seasons in der Ewigkeit.
This is Nightmare teleport was great, but why can't we just teleport right into dungeons rather than just to the entrance? So this one I think is interesting because Nightmare.
Der Albtraum-Dungeon-Teleport. Warum funktioniert der nicht direkt in die Dungeons rein? Warum muss man immer noch ein paar Ladebildschirme haben?
It was community feedback that we had gotten, and the team jumped on it really quickly to implement it in a specific way. We have been seeing a lot of feedback in regards to players having to teleport outside of dungeons and kind of go through like a couple load screens. It was a quick, implementation from the team and everything. So I know it's something that we've been hearing from our side, and it's something that we're going to be looking at more here in the future for optimizing and making sure that.
Also das überlegen sie sich noch zu ändern. Momentan ist es so eine schnelle Lösung gewesen. Das finde ich auch ein bisschen dumm mit dem
On Immortal,
Albtraum-Dungeon. Loading Screen und dem erstmal raus aus dem Dungeon teleportieren, dann zum Dungeon, aber da muss man auch noch mal rein in den Dungeon.
Looking very, very similar to some popular characters from that franchise. Very pretty.
Teddy, das kommt wahrscheinlich erst in ein paar Seasons.
People,
mit der Clanbank und den Gerüchten aus dem letzten Video. Das war erst sowas für die weite Zukunft.
We can turn off Rod's mic now. So that's
Rod auch immer noch was aus der letzten Ecke brüllt.
Was there any inspiration kind of thrown with the Blood Knight?
I think, when you're working with a tropic idea in fantasy, like vampires, you take inspiration from all over. The spear thing puts us in mind of.
Können wir mal über das Wichtigste reden? Was ist mit dem Cool-Level? Cool-Level, letztes Video, was ich dazu gemacht habe, gab es tatsächlich ein kleines Cool-Level-Update. Ich glaube, wir sind kurz davor. Ich mache mal wieder leiser, es geht um Diablo Immortal, das interessiert hier, glaube ich, die wenigsten. Wir können gleich nochmal über die Season reden, über alles, was bis jetzt gesagt wurde. Da kann ich ja nochmal meinen Senf da in Ruhe abgeben, was ich damit meine halt. Ich verstehe schon, dass sie es nicht überkomplex machen wollen. Dass es irgendwann auch unübersichtlich wird, wenn du wirklich jede Mechanik aus der Season ins ewige Reich mitnimmst. Wir werden mal gucken. Ich bin auf die erste Season sehr gespannt. Wir werden gleich nochmal die ganzen Mechaniken, die gesagt wurden, durchgehen auch und alles, was bis jetzt gezeigt wurde. Also falls ihr den Anfang des Streams verpasst haben solltet, kein Problem. Ich werde gleich nochmal alles in Ruhe erklären. So, die letzten Fragen noch. Noch eine Diablo 4 Frage.
We have, will you guys be nerfing or buffing in the middle of seasons, or will you be making changes
Gibt
after the
es
season
Nerfs
starts?
und Buffs
Yeah, it's a very good
in der Mitte
question.
von Seasons?
So, when we
Oh, this
think-
is from Godic, by the way. So there you go.
Okay,
I just
so
wanted
this is
to.
a real person.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So we made a number of adjustments during the preseason period to make sure that we're bringing some builds back into where we expect them to be functionally and performance-wise. When we go into the seasonal release, we do want to create structured moments in time that we're going to be talking about, I think, more in future streams, when we expect like buffs and nerfs to happen. So we have like a regular set of like patches that are going to be occurring after the season is released, where we have like
Ja.
a better schedule, like in case.
Nach der Season soll es immer noch Patches geben, aber Buffs und
We want
Nerfs
to try to reserve
wollen sie, glaube ich, nicht unbedingt
like
machen.
big nerfs and big buffs for only like extreme outlier cases.
Ja, also
And
Nerfs und
only
Buffs soll es nur für
really
Extremfälle geben.
really damage
während einer Season.
the endgame experience for
Eigentlich wollen sie
players.
sich das aufheben.
So we want to try to keep that
Über
more
die neue
constrained.
Season.
And we also want to have just fewer general like off-cycle balance updates and things.
Aha.
So we're kind of keeping things more into this weekly cadence like we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah, things will be pretty stable throughout the course of the season, unless, if one of the malignant powers, I know I joked about them being broken, but if the zone lights on fire when you use a malignant power,
Yeah.
we're going to patch that.
Okay.
But otherwise, we're going to try and keep things stable.
I know we're running close on time because we were planning on this stream to be 90 minutes and we're 1 minute away. So I'm gonna lightning off a few questions. A big question within chat is obviously about stash space, which is something that we kind of just talked about a little bit earlier.
I'll say real quickly though,
Yeah.
like we definitely
Kann in mehreren
hear
Clans
everybody
sein,
about
leider
this.
nicht, nee.
We are talking a lot about what we need to do with this. We've got good plans of things we can do to improve the situation. I know it's frustrating to hear me say like, what you were able to do this, like you could be able to do like nightmare dungeons this quickly, but like the reality is like we are moving really, really quickly on this, and we're going to be trying to provide more space. in the
Also sie
future,
versuchen halt natürlich
figuring out
alles
how they're
möglichst
bringing it
schnell
and
zu
how to
machen, aber sie wollen auch
Yeah,
nichts
and
kaputt
also
machen.
one thing to notice, I know we talked about during Campfire Chats about
Das ist
how,
krass, ja.
like,
90.000
gems
Zuschauer,
and
4
so
Mods,
forth,
also sind
we're
total
gonna be
überfordert.
part of materials. in
Du
the
seid ihr alle
future.
brav und Jenny muss nichts
I know
machen.
when that hits, like that will obviously free up a lot of
Yeah,
stash
there's
space
lots
for
of different ways
users
to
and
kind of
stuff
like slice away at this problem, and that's like an example of what we're trying to do to trying to mitigate this a bit.
And then Jim, the Q guy, asked how much time between seasons. He still wants to level
3
up his
Monate.
main. So
Alle
in
3
between
Monate wird's eine
seasons,
Season geben.
obviously, there is.
Das wissen wir schon.
We had talked about seasons lasting 3 months.
It's a minimum of 12 weeks. Sometimes it might be
Hey,
longer,
danke
but
für
you
dein
always have at least
Prime-Abo.
12 weeks to complete
Alvain.
your season.
Correct. Yeah. So you guys will
Thereabouts
hear.
based on the calendar dates.
Arrivain,
Yeah. So
sorry.
you guys will hear like no matter
Ich habe
what.
ein Problem
within-
mit zwischen
or,
I und L
like,
zu unterscheiden
once
hier auf
we
dem
hit that
kleinen
3-month period, you'll
Handy-Bildschirm.
start to hear news about the next season actually hitting and everything like that. And then this one, I guess for Rod, are there any plans on new classes coming to Diablo
Oh,
4?
neue
I just
Klasse.
heard about the Blood Knight, so
Komm,
there.
Rod, sag uns, was mit der neuen Klasse jetzt abgeht. Sag es uns.
Yeah.
D4 neue
Rod
Klasse.
sitting off camera can answer that
Komm,
perfectly.
hau rein.
So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it here for today.
Super, wird nicht
obviously we talked
beantwortet,
a lot
oder was?
about, all the stuff
Danke.
with Diablo Immortal for the Blood Knight coming out on July 13th. We also have for Diablo 4 Season 1, Season of the Malignant.
Na
which
gut.
is gonna be, the
Also
patch
das
will be
war's
on
jetzt. Wir
the-
gehen
on
gleich noch
July
alles gemeinsam
18th,
durch,
and
was
then
so
the
gesagt
actual season
wurde.
starts on July 20th.
Season
We
of
do
the
actually
Malignant.
have 2 blogs, one on on DiabloImmortal.com and one
Okay,
on
zwei
Diablo4.com. They'll be
Blog-Einträge.
going live either right now or immediately after this live stream. That'll have all the details and information that we just talked about here
Yeah,
on the stream.
yeah.
Yeah, lots of stuff coming up here for Diablo.
Patch this afternoon.
Oh yes, and there's a patch this afternoon.
Ja.
You'll be seeing. Oh, I
Alter,
forgot,
ein
that's why I
Patch?
do it immediately after
Es
this
gibt einen
stream.
Patch jetzt
Trying to
und
get
einen Patch
out
am
of it, guys.
18.
But we will have a patch. We'll have patch notes up on Diablo4.com. We have a patch article that will actually note.
Gehen wir
and
gleich
will be
gemeinsam
updating
durch,
people
Leute.
When that patch does hit, it is a client patch. It will require a download. It will be on all platforms.
Er hat gerade gesagt, dass sie daran arbeiten werden, mehr
lots of
Truhenplätze
Diablo
zu
stuff
beschaffen
coming
und
up
mehr
here in the
Platz.
next few
Super.
weeks. Really excited.
Sehr wichtig.
Happy Diablo family.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff coming up. I know we will be rating 2 Diablo content creators immediately after this stream. One on Twitch, which is Barricade, and the other one on YouTube, which is Killswitch. So make sure to tune into those guys. And thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in.
Es gab auch einen YouTube-Stream,
the
super. Dann kann ich mir den gleich
Diablo
angucken als
Developer
VOD.
Update Livestream. And from everyone here on the Diablo team, we hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Ja, ciao Leute.